Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, good afternoon. It is my honor and privilege to stand before you today to sponsor Senate Bill number 2282 under Committee Report number 56, otherwise known as the Fair Competition Act of 2014. In a country where 99% of the economy and 66% of all jobs in the labor force are powered by micro, small, and medium enterprises, it is our duty to create an environment where local businesses of all types will thrive. A fair competition policy will level the playing field for Filipino businesses and allow more Filipinos to exercise their entrepreneurial spirit. It will encourage competition, innovation, and the creation of better products and services. It will drive production efficiencies and better supply chain management, and ultimately give the Filipino public a wider range of products and services to choose from while driving down prices. A fair competition policy, in tandem with our recently enacted Go Negosyo Act, will open the gates for more Filipinos to make a living out of their own businesses, generate employment, strengthen more Filipinos' purchasing power, and help drive inclusive growth. We also see that an effective fair competition policy would lead to economic development not only in our urban centers, but probably more importantly, in our struggling agriculture and fishery sectors, which are the sources of livelihood for millions of our countrymen in rural areas. And in light of an increasingly connected global economy and the integration of the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015, a fair competition policy will also promote standards of quality and excellence among our local businesses, promote a sustained increase in production, and advance domestic and international trade. With fair competition, dear friends, everyone, businesses, and the consuming public alike wins. We therefore submit to this August Chamber the Fair Competition Act of 2014, which will pave the way for the establishment of a competition commission that will firstly promote and enhance economic efficiency and competition, ensure that industrial concentration would not limit economic power to a few, and third, prohibit anti-competitive agreements and abuses of dominant position that distort, manipulate, or constrict the operations of markets in the Philippines. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, Global Forum on International Investment, in a paper published as far back as 2008, entitled Competition Policy Enforcement, Experiences from Developing Countries and Implications for Investment, illustrated the effects of an effective competition regime as such. An effective competition policy will eliminate barriers to entry, while a strong competition law will curb anti-competitive practices. Both will lead to increased competition in the market and therefore to even greater investment in our country. For the Philippines, which still lags behind in the region in terms of foreign direct investments, more investments coming in will mean greater production in the market that will lead to lower prices and higher quality of goods and services for the Filipino consumers. Unfortunately, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Philippines still does not have a competition policy and law that will protect its consumers and private industries. For our information, the US had its first competition policy with its US Sherman Act in 1890. Australia followed suit with its Australian Industries Preservation Act in 1906. After World War II, Japan passed its original anti-monopoly law in 1947, and the UK passed its Monopolies and Restrictive Practices Act in 1948. Moreover, in the ASEAN Economic Community, each member country is called upon to introduce a competition policy by 2015. That's next year, dear colleagues. Our neighbors have passed their competition laws already. Indonesia and Thailand in 1999, Singapore in 2004, Vietnam in 2005, and Malaysia in 2012. It is imperative that we catch up if we seek to be a contender in an increasingly integrated and global economy. Panahon na po na maipasa natin ang napakahalagang panukalang ito. Ang pagkakaroon po ng Fair Competition Act ay para sa ikabubuti ng mga negosyo sa Pilipinas, maliit man o malaki, at para rin sa kapakanan ng mga mamimiling Pilipino. Mr. President, nung ako po yung estudyante pa lamang noong 1990s, unang naibenta ang pang-personal na cellphone sa merkado. Naalala ko pa po, ang unang type ng cellphone noon ay medyo malaki, analog ang operating system, at may kamahalan pa. Hindi pa colored ang mga screen noon, at lalong hindi ka makakuha ng litrato o ng video. Pero pagkatapos po ng ilang taon, pumasok sa merkado ang iba't ibang uri ng cellphone, at ang mga ito ay may iba't ibang kulay at hugis. At may mga makabagong teknolohiya nagbigay ng pagkataong gamit ng cellphone, di lamang pang text o pantawag, kundi pati na rin sa video calls, sa gaming, sa negosyo, pang-internet sa eskwelahan, at syempre, pati na rin po sa social media at sa pagkuha ng mga nauusong selfie. At tayo nga po ang selfie capital of the world. Sa pagdami ng mga kumpanyang nagtitinda ng cellphone sa bansa, nagkaroon ng mas maraming mapagpipilian ang mga mamimili. Tumaas ang kalidad ng mga cellphone at nagkaroon ng mga murang produkto na mabibili ng mas nakararami pang Pilipino. Ngayon po, ang cellphone ay abot kaya na. Pati po ang ating mga aling tindera, mamang driver, maski po mga estudyante sa mga pampublikong paaralan, kahit sino po ngayon, basta magtipid ka lamang at mag-ipon ng konti, pwede na pong bumili ng cellphone. Pati po yung mga mas advanced pa na smartphone. Pati po ang ilang mga lokal na kumpanya ay gumagawa na rin po ng mga mahuhusay na smartphone na kayang makipagsabayan sa mga features ng mga important brands. Ang ganitong pag-usad ng merkado ang ating pong ianais, hindi lang po sa larangan ng cellphone, kundi pati rin po sa iba nating industriya. Para mas maraming mga Pilipino ang makinabang sa mas magagandang mga produkto at serbisyo, mas murang mga bilihin at higit sa lahat, mas maraming mga trabaho na dulot ng mas maraming mga investments at bagong kumpanya dito po sa ating bansa. Noong 1997, mahigit po sa 10,000 piso ang isang Nokia 5110. Na text at call lang ang pwedeng gawin sa sistema po nito. At ang pwede pong laruin natin yan ay snake lang po. Ngunit ngayon, ang 10,000 piso mo, makabibili ka na po ng isang Nokia Lumia na isang smartphone na hindi lang text at call ang pwedeng gawin, kundi makapaglalaro ka po ng mas marami pang mga games, makapag-internet, makapagpapanood ng mga video, makatutugtog ng music, at makapagsiselfie. Noong 1997, iilan lang po ang makabibili ng Nokia 5110 dahil po sa kamahalan nito noon. Ngayon po, sa halagang 1,000 o mas mababa pa, may mabibili ka ng cellphone ng Cherry Mobile o ng iPhone. Ibig pong sabihin, dahil sa innovation at technology, dulot ng kompetisyon, ang mga kumpanya ng cellphone ay nakalikha ng mga produkto para sa mas malaking merkado, para sa mas magandang serbisyo, at para sa mas mababang presyo. Mr. President, isa pang example. Noong 1980s, napakamahal pong lumipad pauwi ng Davao. At ito po yung panahon na binibisita ko po yung mga kamag-anak ko po doon sa mother side. Marahil kakaunti lang din po ang available flights sa buong bansa, kaya madalang ang aming pag-uwi. Sa isang kapuluang bansa, mahalaga po ang transportation paghimpapawid. Hindi lang para sa pagpapatibay ng relasyon ng magkapamilya, kundi pati rin sa mabilis na transportasyon ng mga produkto at serbisyo at sa patuloy na pagpapaunlad ng ating bansa. Nung nagkaroon po ng ibang player sa airline industry, dumami po ang flight sa buong bansa. Na-introduce po ang promo fares at nagbagsakan ang presyo ng airfare. Ngayon, mas marami na ang mapagpipili ang mga flight sa kung saan man sa bansa, at ito po ay sa mas mababang presyo. Dahil po sa kompetisyon, mas naging innovative at creative ang ating mga airline carriers. Napalawak ang merkado, napababa ang presyo, napataas ang kalidad ng serbisyo para po sa mga Pilipino. Kung itataguyod po natin ang kapakanan ng mga negosyo, maliit man o malaki, sa pamamagitan ng Fair Competition Act, mabibigyan po natin sila ng pagkakataong gamitin ang kanilang likas na pagiging malikhain at madiskarte sa paggawa ng mga bagong produkto, serbisyo at inobasyon na papatok po sa ating merkado. Lahat po tayo dito po sa batas na ito panalo. Mr. President, we believe that the Fair Competition Act is all at once pro-poor, pro-people, and pro-business. It safeguards the welfare of businesses, large and small, and protects honest, hard-working entrepreneurs against abuse of dominance and position and other unfair practices. These unfair practices put both Filipino businesses and consumers at risk. The Fair Competition Act, moreover, promotes a culture of healthy competition that inspires ingenuity, that inspires creativity, that inspires innovation in addressing our market's needs. we recognize that we will definitely need more than just this act to enable such a culture to take root, but we believe, dear colleagues, that this Fair Competition Act is the first necessary step. Dalawang dekada na po nating tinatangkang maipasa ang panukalang ito. Ngayong patuloy na umaarangkada ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas, lalagyan mabuba natin ng balakid ang tunay na pag-unlad dahil hindi natin maituguyod ang kapakanan ng ating mga negosyo at mamamayan. This puts us, our Philippine industries, especially our MSMEs and our people, at a grave disadvantage without this act in light of the integration of the ASEAN Economic Community next year. As the Philippines works to level up from 4 years of sustained economic growth, fiscal reforms, and good governance, and heightened investor confidence, it's now time to work on strengthening our local industries, promoting a culture of competition and innovation, and boosting our potential for serving the global market with outstanding products and with outstanding services. We have said repeatedly, friends, that our key challenge in this second half of the Aquino administration is achieving inclusive growth and making true progress felt by each and every Filipino. To reiterate, the Fair Competition Act, in conjunction with the recently enacted Go Negosyo Act, will give government the mandate and the tools that it needs to boost local productivity and global competitiveness. Nabanggit din po ng Pangulo ang pagkakaroon ng fair competition sa ating bansa. Ika nga po niya sa SONA, I quote, "Pinapanday na natin ang sistema kung saan talagang patas ang laban, kung saan ang sumusunod sa patakaran ay nakakarating sa nais niyang paroonan. Kung saan man may tunay na kompetisyong nagbubukal ng pagkakataon at malawakang puhunaran, kung saan ang lahat ay may kakayahang panghawakan ang sariling kapalaran." End quote. In light of next year's ASEAN Economic Community integration, in light of the entry of more global brands and businesses onto our shores, and in light of our thrust to make the country more globally competitive and make doing business truly more fun in the Philippines, this representation deems it urgent that the Fair Competition Act be passed in order to give our people the support that they need to succeed. Sa tulong po ninyong lahat, mabibigyan po natin ng pantay na pagkakataon ang mga negosyong Pilipino na lumago at makipagsabayan sa buong mundo. Dahil po sa isang bansang umuunlad, nararapat lang po na tayong lahat walang maiiwan at sama-samang aangat. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa ating lahat.